Hello, thank you for joining this new video. Today, we have first impressions of the HUAWEI Pura X. Let's begin. This is a super attractive device because it is one of a kind. At first glance, it would appear to be a flip-type cell phone, but it is actually a kind of fusion between flip and fold, because when you unfold it, you don't have a traditional format device, but you have a kind of mini tablet. The concept is very interesting. Currently, Huawei is the only one using it, so let's get to know it little by little. The design is meant for use with the camera's position at the top, which means the power button will be located on the right-hand side. The volume buttons are situated at the top, while the hinge is placed on the left side. Interestingly, the hinge is branded with the Huawei logo. Lastly, the USB-C port is positioned at the bottom. The external screen appears with a square-like proportion and rounded corners, offering a width that ensures excellent usability for displaying information effectively. The applications. On the back, there is a slightly textured and quite nice mosaic design. As I mentioned, when we unfold the device, we will discover this kind of mini tablet. The ratio of this internal screen is 16:10, which makes it feel just like a tablet, but in a much smaller format, making it its main attraction. Imagine having a small tablet that fits right in your pocket, featuring a diagonal measurement of 6'3" inches. While it doesn't quite reach the 8 inches typically seen in fold-type devices, the 6'3" inches still offers a surprisingly ample display. This is due to its unique proportions, which differ from the 20 or 21:9 aspect ratios found in flip devices. In this instance, the design allows for a better distribution, providing more room for the elements on the screen. And well, it is quite evident that the fact of having a folding device with these features means you should always take full advantage of it through the software and its various modes. So in this particular case, for instance, within the camera interface, you will notice that the display area and the contact area are specifically adapted, similar to what occurs in other folding devices. This adaptation significantly helps you to place the device on a table and capture some content without needing an additional base. Clearly, not every application and the whole interface will adapt when in a semi-folded mode. However, I want to mention that the hinge has excellent rigidity, staying firm even at a very closed angle. Although, when you have it at a slightly more open angle, you might notice that it doesn't stay quite as rigid. Also, keep in mind that we have a triple chamber, which is different from the flip-type folding ones, where most of them only have 2 chambers. So here we have a 40-megapixel ultra-wide camera with f2.2 aperture, autofocus, and a 13mm focal length. Then a 50-megapixel main camera with f1.6 aperture and optical stabilization. Finally, a telephoto camera with 8 megapixels and f2.4 aperture. So here we are in front of a 3.5x optical zoom. However, I must emphasize that typically flip phones come with more basic cameras. Therefore, having a bit more room in this aspect is advantageous for the photographic system as well, and it would appear to have a 4th camera placed in there. But we're talking about a camera that we could say is a multispectral sensor to correctly detect color and have greater accuracy. That's something that Huawei usually puts in various devices, and I love to see it available here as well. By the way, on the front camera, we will find 10-7 megapixels with aperture f. However, it's clear that the primary purpose of this camera is for video calls. The reality is that you can utilize the device while it's folded to fully benefit from the entire main camera system. Whether you're aiming for a very wide capture or a more detailed shot of your face, this feature is designed to cater to those needs. In general, you can really make good use of these formats. What's intriguing is that the front camera has the capability to record in 4K at 60 frames per second, which is quite impressive. Similarly, the rear cameras also offer this feature, allowing you to record at the same resolution. You can switch between different cameras while recording and achieve up to 10 times digital zoom, which is quite remarkable. However, it's important to note that this particular device isn't available outside of China, meaning the software it comes with is different from what we would typically see on a global scale. We encountered HarmonyOS next, which, as you are aware, no longer supports Android apps. You couldn't even install them, at least not theoretically or in any straightforward manner. This is one of the reasons Huawei doesn't distribute these devices with Harmony Next outside of China. Notice, however, on the external display, for instance, we were able to open apps such as messaging, the gallery itself, as well as the camera, and also the music player. We observe the availability of multitasking directly on this external screen, and honestly, it appears to be quite functional. You can even open Petal Maps and, as I mentioned, switch between various apps.
What's interesting is that the multitasking on the external screen operates independently from the multitasking on the internal screen.
making it seem like two distinct environments, each with its own set of applications open. We could definitely say that it's relatively comfortable to use this device with just one hand, both when it's folded and when it's unfolded. Additionally, you have the option to enable a one-handed use mode, allowing you to interact with the device more easily. Although I don't find the activation process to be one of the most comfortable, it's still a way to adjust the interface space for using with just one hand. Can't change it, but hey, it's something you can take advantage of as well. Another function that takes advantage of the external and internal screen at the same time is one that gives you a kind of animation on the external screen when you are going to take someone's picture. You can choose between different animations or just a preview so you can get fun and people can turn and smile at the camera. It's a feature that we usually find in several folders, and here will be no exception, although as I say, in this case, it lets you select if you want it to be the preview or if you want it to be some funny animation. Through the external display, you can even access a portrait capture mode when you're taking a picture. So you have different modes available, and the software can of course take full advantage of the large screen space. For example, you can change a full-size application into a floating window just by moving it to the upper right corner. This small window can be resized, minimized, or placed in a different position. Additionally, as you know, we can combine it with a split-screen view, allowing us to have up to 3 applications running simultaneously. By the way, this device is equipped with a fingerprint reader. When the device is unfolded, the reader stays on top, and even when it's folded, it remains in the natural area where your finger usually rests. In this scenario, beyond offering the security and convenience of unlocking the screen, it also provides the ability to perform actions like double tapping to set up features, such as turning on the flashlight, accessing the camera, or changing sound settings, along with other useful tools. The battery capacity will be 4720, which is quite large, thanks to the ample space available in the device. This is unlike the Flip, where only smaller batteries can fit. Furthermore, it supports 66 watts for wired charging, 40 watts for wireless charging, and it even offers reverse wireless charging. This means you can charge another cell phone by placing it on the back of your device. Therefore, it includes all the features one could desire from a flagship phone in terms of battery performance, which is truly impressive. Oh, I forgot to say it includes IPX8. It's a great device with water resistance. The design is innovative, a solid proposal. As for details, it features the Kirin 9020 chip and comes in 12 or 16 GB of RAM with storage options of 256, 512 GB or even a terabyte, and has stereo sound. Honestly, it seems like an intriguing proposal. I'd love for Huawei to distribute it globally too. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. For now, we have come to the conclusion of this video, which covered our initial impressions of the HUAWEI Pura X. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed watching this video.